It's about 8 in the morning. It's very calm. It's very dry, which is very strange. Today, I might sell that little Honda motor right there. Okay, the guy's looking at this engine's coming by in about half an hour, and I still haven't gotten this motor off the back of the boat yet. So right now we're going to do an experiment called how long does it take to steal an outboard motor with a Dremel multi-tool, battery operated Dremel multi-tool. And just a quick reminder, safety first, always wear eye protection. Voila! Well, I just sold my little Honda motor for a little less than I was asking. He made me an offer. Seemed like a nice guy. It's gonna go to a good home, so I took the deal and got rid of the thing. So I made enough money on the sale of the old motor to hopefully buy a new motor. So now I get to start shopping for a new trolling motor. Check out what came today for me from Amazon. They come in 32 pounds, 40 pounds, 55 pounds, 86 pounds, which is the one that I got, the biggest one that they could sell me. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so I am just boiling some eggs, gonna make some breakfast and start figuring out my new trolling motor, which I just took out of the box. And I gotta say, I'm impressed with how beefy it is. I mean, this whole thing is like, that is a solid electric motor right there. Very heavy. And it's got me wondering whether or not my battery solution, in case you haven't noticed, this is a 24 volt trolling motor, which means it is typically designed to run off of two 12 volt batteries. That's how you would normally do it if you were in a fishing boat. You just have two big old lead acid 12 volt batteries, wire them up together in parallel, and then you got 24 volts. So I don't want to do that because I don't want to have two big lead acid batteries on the boat that are only used for a trolling motor, which I may or may not use very often with the dinghy anyways. So my solution is this. What I did is I ordered a couple of new Ryobi 18 volt 4 amp hour lithium batteries. These are for my tools basically. I'm going to use these for all kinds of different things on the boat. But I also got a couple of these guys. Okay, so that's going to go on top of the battery. I've got another one to go on top of the other battery. Those guys are going to be wired into this guy, which is a DC to DC converter. So it's going to take the 36 volts that wiring up these two guys in parallel is going to create. It's going to take 36 and it's going to down convert it to 24. I've got a whole bunch of these little XT60 connectors. The 60 and XT60 stands for 60 amps, so it's rated up to 60 amps. The trolling motor is rated to a 50 amp max, so I think these guys are going to be sufficient. I don't know. We will find out. Oh, and I also got this box. So it's just, I believe it's like the new version of an ammo box. I don't know, it was like $8 for this little box. And I'm going to put, once everything is put together and wired up, I'm going to put it all inside of this box so that the whole battery system will fit in this little to-go thing. And yeah, see how long these suckers linked in parallel can run a 86 pound thrust trolling motor. Like 2 minutes probably. Okay, so the battery box is pretty much done. I've got everything soldered up. Like I've got the output of the 36 to 24 volt converter ready to go. So that's the motor will plug into that. And then on the inside here, I've got where the batteries will be plugged into via this system. Via these two guys here will be plugged into that right there, like so. And I can just show you like a little quick. I got it set up back here. My charging station right there. It's blinking red. That's not good. Huh. Let's try again, shall we? Sometimes they don't get seated properly. There it goes. Green. Okay, so now that's charging. It wasn't charging before, but yeah, that's my little charging station for the Ryobi tools and the 18-volt system. If this all goes well, then I'll probably add another one of these 12-volt charging so I can do two at the same time. The idea is that I use these kind of batteries for basically everything. If it works for the trolling motor, theoretically it'll also work for an electric bike at some point in the future, and so I'll probably need extra charging situations. So anyway, that's doing its thing. And out here I'm just gonna clean up, get ready to test out the motor. Here's my box. There's the converter. Here's my parallel battery setup. So one battery. Okay, so it didn't explode. There's no smoke. Okay. So now this should measure approximately 40 volts right there. No, sorry. This should measure 24. Should measure 24 volts. 20.8 volts. Why is it not 24? Let's try measuring here. Also 20 volts. They're not working in parallel. I really don't know why. Okay, so I just Googled the problem, and it is because I wired the Ryobi batteries up in parallel and not in series. If you wire something up in parallel, their voltage remains nominally the same, so that's why it stayed at 20 point whatever. If you wire something up in series, you basically add your voltages together, you double your voltage. So that's what I need to do. Slightly different wiring job. That is a series connector, which I had to solder up real quick. Actually goes like that. Positive and negative. 40.12. Awesome. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them back into this box. 40 volts goes into the DC to DC converter and turns it into 24. So I'm going to plug this in and I'm going to measure again, and we should have 24 volts coming out of this thing. Okay. Again, no sparks. It's always a good sign. And we've got 24.27 volts. That is our 24 volt battery pack right there. Boom. Now let's hook it up to the motor and see if that works. They have a really heavy motor, man, like this, not a small guy. Connect the battery to the drive. Boom. And we have, I don't know if you can see it because of the sunshine there, but we have full power. Yeah, that's awesome. So now let's try turning it on. Yeah, boy. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Is it gonna work? Prop is down. It's locked in position. Now I'm going to plug it in. Hopefully it doesn't explode. 3, 2, Okay, so we've got full power up on here on our little lights. Now let's try it out, shall we? Whoa! This is a very powerful motor. Okay, so I think our problem is going to be too much power. Let's untie our line. Let's see, here we go. We are off. In a hurry. Alright, we're moving quick. I'm scared to go any faster. Okay, we're in a straightaway here. Let's see if we can get it up. Another. Oh yeah. Alright, we are moving. Moving along. Just checking the warmth of these wires. Okay. It's dead stop. Tightening up things. Here we go again, ready? Really lurches forward, man. There's torque there. Alright. So that's it. That's the highest level of speed we're doing. And there's a little warmth in those wires. This is full speed ahead on 86 pounds. Little motor. It's fantastic, actually. Running on Ryobi batteries, 24-volt system. Okay, so that gives us a good indication. We are using this thing up to the limit of its capacity. That is this little metal box deal. Make sure I'm not going to land. Right, so this little metal box deal, it's not warm or anything, is putting out 30 amps. When we go to full power, it gives us a full 30 amps. So theoretically, this thing would put out more power if we had a bigger DC to DC converter. But for the purposes of this dinghy and having a little mobile power, this setup is awesome. Really jumps on that first. So yeah, now we're doing first gear pulls 20 amps. No, 18 amps. Because the next question is the range. Like, how long will a set of Ryobi batteries, tool batteries, push a 24 volt dinghy motor? Don't know. Pulling 17 amps. Batteries still. Looks like we have a level check on the batteries themselves. Batteries are nice and cool. Oh, yep. Batteries are almost exhausted. There you go. 10 minutes. Can I get back? That's the next question. Okay. That thickens the plot, if that's the case. So it says I have while it was under draw, it said I had one little bar left, and while it's at rest, it says I have two. Yeah, I mean, that's not great. What I could do is I could get the bigger bricks, so I could get 8 amp. These are 4 amp hour batteries, and I could get the 8 amp hour batteries, you know. But to be honest with you, just to get to shore, in most cases, I bet you that would be good. The problem is that if you did get stuck, what do you do? So it's not a flawless plan, and got some thinking to do, but let's see if we can get back to the boat here. So yeah, we're off. Is it gonna make it? I don't want to look. It's pulling 18 amps right now. Okay, well, at least we're turning down into the slip here. God, coming in so hot though. It is. There's no lesser speed. It got to be a lower speed than that. Close quartering is kind of problematic, actually. Its lowest speed is way overpowered. Way overpowered. You kind of just have to like it's like drifting. May have more control going backwards, actually. Let's try that. Still moving really fast. This is first gear backwards. Now we'll just drift, see what happens. See if we make it. I think we're gonna make it. So I think the verdict is that it works great. These batteries, they're at 1%. Anything but the shortest trips really don't make much sense with this thing. Now, that being said, this is the biggest trolling motor that they sold on Amazon. And again, the reason I got the biggest trolling motor was because, not because I thought I needed it for this dinghy, but because I wanted to see if it would push Dinghy, the sailboat, around. And I think it might. So the next experiments will be to you know, put it on the back of the boat here somehow and see what she'll do with some bigger battery capacities. It's backwards. Takes some getting used to. So yes, I think I will call that a success, partial success. Yeah, the thing that will cure this problem is obviously more money. So I'd like to thank all my patrons who are helping me along in discovering things like this. I really appreciate you. If you're interested in joining the team and becoming a patron yourself, the link is in the description below. And I'd like to thank you in advance. It really means a lot to me. And also thank you to those who have subscribed and who have left a comment or a like. It's all really meaningful. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.